Welcome back, everyone. We've got an extra special video today. This one actually comes from a viewer, Echo. He is a 55-plus-year-old gamer, and he actually has a condition in his hands that he was telling me about, but he is still trying to compete in PvP despite it being difficult to press some of the buttons. So he's playing Willbender, and he submitted his match on my Discord to be reviewed, so we're going to review it on YouTube for everyone. So you can see he's rank 31. This is actually his first competitive ranked match. He's just been doing unranked until now, so we're gonna go ahead and get right in here. So you started going to mid, Echo, which I like that. Willbender always needs to be in the team fight because Willbender is a damage dealer, so unless your team is like all damage, you definitely want to start mid and help starting to snowball the enemy team. If you can get that first wipe at mid, it's a great start. So I like that you're following the target there. It looks like someone called the target on the Tempest. Tempest is not always the best target. Sometimes you want to try and get somebody that gets away from the support and kill them instead, but I like that you were following the target there. So, okay, so your team gets stomped at mid, but this isn't too bad because you've got... Oh, I thought that was your team. No, never mind. It's still not that bad. Your Thief went and got far. Necro's rotating back in. Overall, initially, I'm not gonna pause it. Let's actually go forward a little bit here. I would say work on some damage combos. Spear 5, I noticed you used a bit early. You want to try and save that for a knockdown. Spear 5 is a great combo into Spear 3 and into Spear 2 to do a lot of damage, so you always want to try and save that one. I'll probably have more to say about that, but I want to keep watching because, yeah, like right there, that was Spear 5. Save that one. I did the same thing when I first started playing Willbender. I was just like spamming buttons and, you know, hey, maybe this one will help. And Spear 5 does like supercharge your other skills. It gives them extra damage. I think it's called Illuminated. Your next like couple of skills will deal extra damage from the buff that Spear 5 gives. I have utilized that buff a couple of times myself, even though I didn't get a knockdown, but it's very situational. Generally speaking, you want to pair Spear 5 with your skill right here, your Judge's Intervention. I usually just call it Port. I always forget the name of that skill. But that way you can use the knockdown and immediately port up next to him, and so that way you guarantee the knockdown. Okay, so I'll say this much. I actually love this, Echo. Let me back this up. So you come up into the fight. You deal some decent damage. Again, I would work on damage combos. I will probably do a Willbender guide pretty soon discussing some of the combos. But so I love that you were willing to charge into the battle. But, you know, if you pause here, and this guy just disappeared, but there was a guy here and here, there wasn't much you were going to be able to do. In fact, here, let's just back it up. See, as you're going in, like, not a bad fight to take necessarily. But, you know, you see this guy down, that guy's down. At this point, it's kind of like, this is a fight that you want to rotate away from, right? This is not really a fight that you can win. But I like that you were hungry for the kill. A lot of people get really scared of ranked, like, oh no, we're going to be up against players that have been playing for decades. You're not going to be against those kind of players until you're like top 100. So I've heard that repeated a lot, like, oh, we're up against the crazy sweaty nerds. Like, no, these are players that started playing a week ago or yesterday, or they play casually. Like, it's very easy to get better than the initial players that you'll play against. So I like this. Coming in, plussing the team, you helped focus down the target, and then you swapped over immediately to the support. I suppose one thing worth pointing out, a great way to mix up your damage, and I kind of want to wait till you swap to Spear because we were talking about Spear before, the 5-3-2. A great way to mix up damage is throwing in an F1. When you're playing Willbender, when the enemy player dies, your F1 resets, and it does a ton of damage. And so you can knock somebody, and then you want to use F1 as soon as possible because as soon as that knocked guy dies, F1's back up. And if you knock two people, you know, you'll use it, then the first one dies, use it again, then the second one dies, use it again. It's a great way to add some sustained damage to your kit. So I'm not sure if you were going for the knockdown thinking he was pushing you in stealth. If you were predicting that in your head, awesome. If not, then again, yeah, just try and practice not using the skill too much. And I've noticed, and for those watching, he keeps clicking the elite skill, Echo. If that is because of your condition, that's actually really smart because that skill has the longest cooldown. So you're going to need to use it the least. I would say the other skills are all more important. At the end of the day, if you're a new player and you're trying to get good at the game, you don't want to be clicking anything. So no pass for other players. That's like step 1 to PvP is keybind all of your skills and stop clicking with your mouse. You can't go down and click your skills because in PvP seconds can be the difference between winning and losing really the entire game because it's very momentum based, and those few seconds can win you the fight. That fight can then win you the map, and winning the map can then, you can be so far ahead that the enemy team can't catch up. And so clicking skills, not being able to combo skills together is just impossible. But yeah, I've noticed that's the only one that you've clicked that I've seen anyways so far. And that's actually the smartest one if you were like, dang, well, I have to have one that I click. But if you can practice and get to the point where you press it with your fingers, that's better. Ooh, so this was pretty nasty. So right there, what killed you guys was their Reaper. He's a condition Reaper. And he just dumped a bunch of conditions. Conditions are super strong on players in early game because nobody's all that skilled in early game, and that means your support is not going to be skilled at cleansing conditions for the team. Now, you actually don't have a support this match. But hypothetically, you know, a support is what makes conditions way less powerful. So you don't really see a ton of conditions at end game. They're a nice complement, but most of the time people run power because a good support is just going to keep cleansing. And right now, 2 supports are kind of meta, so conditions don't do as much when they're constantly cleansed, right? That's the idea. That's kind of been the general state of Guild Wars for a long time. People don't really understand that concept. But yeah, at the lower ranks, you can run condition builds and just plow through enemy players like that guy did, because that's something that newer players are not as ready to encounter and to counter. So they kind of just watch the conditions kill themselves, not knowing what to do. Okay, I don't know if that was luck or skill, but that was great. He ran right into your knockdown, although I think he was invuln there. I really, really like the fact that you chose to take this fight against the Virtuoso. One of the things that you'll start to do over time, Echo, is you'll learn matchups, which classes you can push into and which ones you shouldn't. Typically, you shouldn't push into Virtuoso, but to be honest, man, I'm kind of like you. Sometimes I'm just like, screw it, I'm just going to skill gap this guy, and I'll just run in and try to kill him. It's funny. His downstate Mesmer, the clones from the downstate, actually, I want to back this up and show you guys this. So watch this right here. Watch you heal. I didn't get the frame. Let's just back it up a little so you guys can see this. Watch him get the heal here. Yeah, so he's at 15-9. See this illusionary rogue? Is that what it's called? See this thing spawning right here? This thing does a crap ton of damage, and you'll watch. So he just spawned it, and it leaps at you, and boom, now you're at 7k health. So that hit you for like 8 to 9k. You have to watch out for those. That's something you'll just get used to with Mesmers. Once they're down, wait for that illusionary rogue and just dodge it. But he hits you again with it, and that's actually how he downed you here in a second. Yeah. He spawned another one, but he died instantly, which brought you back up. So I like the rotation over to try and save your teammate. At this point, so this is actually something you'll learn. Each match has a different mechanic. They had sword, which meant there was no way you were going to save your guy. Once they get sword, when your guy goes down, that Reaper pops up. Let's see if I can show you guys this too. So watch, your teammates down. See that Reaper right there? That's because they have the sword buff, and you can see the blue player at the bottom right there that has a sword on him. So yeah, that's right there. Boom, see his health, it's gone. He just finished off the player for you. So there was no world in which you saved that guy. What you should have done there, and you know, this is high level stuff. You got to have a lot of map awareness and everything. So your first ranked match, I'm just going to be vomiting info at you, but yeah, see that Reaper? Now that was actually weird. It didn't finish you off. I don't know if that was ping or what. But Anyways, yeah. So when you saw the two guys there, you got your kill, which was good. At that point, honestly, I would have either ran off or if they or invulned and ran off. But you'd kind of want to wait to use your invuln until they start attacking you. Like if they don't aggro to you, then just run off for free. But yeah, overall, this is actually great, Echo. I love how bold you are. I like that you're spending the entire match searching for kills. People will get frustrated at you as you climb the ranks. And they're going to say, like, play objective, you know, stand on point, fight on point. No, one of the fundamental principles that you need to learn as a new player is that the most important thing for you to do is survive. If you lose a team fight and the enemy's starting to win, you have 1 or 2 players down. Imagine the difference between taking a team fight with the enemy and 2 of your players die and the rest of you, the 3 of you, go and rotate and decap the other nodes and slow down their points until your team can come back. Imagine that scenario versus the scenario where the 3 of you fight boldly, on point, courageously, and everybody dies at mid. Well, now they own the side nodes and they own mid, and you're all dead, and they're just waiting for you to spawn. They're gonna kill you. So staying alive is like always the thing you want to do. And as a DPS, not only are you trying to stay alive, you're just trying to find kills. And the minute that things don't go your way, best thing for you to do is dip out and find kills somewhere else. So keep that in mind playing a DPS. Oof, taking a lot of heat in that fight. Yeah, that's just a lot of damage there. They have a lot of conditions, which you don't have support. That's one of the things you'll learn to look for. You know, as you get better and better at the game, you'll start to learn, like, okay, I'm paired with this class, this class, this class, and that class. What are our strengths and what are our weaknesses, right? I like this too. Okay. Can anyone tell me what Echo just did wrong right here? He's taking heat. He's running away from the fight. This holo chases him and comes and kills him. Can anyone say what he did wrong there? We'll give it like a couple of seconds. Leave it in the comments. So Echo, this was honestly great. Literally what I was just talking about, staying alive no matter what, you were following this. You did have another virtue, by the way. That virtue will give you, excuse me, not quickness. It'll give you speed, swiftness. There we go. And it'll move you a little bit, and it has a dodge frame in it. So that's like an extra dodge right there. I would have used that and kept running right here. You need to get line of sight. You need to get out of the radius of where the enemy is so they don't look at you. Like this guy, he's hunting. He's doing the same thing you're doing. He's trying to get kills. So he saw you out there. He saw that you were vulnerable, and he said, yes, free kill. I would have kept running. Your heal was up. Just pop the heal when you're that low. But I would have kept running until I was out of combat, and then let your health reset from being out of combat, and then come right back into the fight, and your cooldowns would have been up. Ooh, okay, you didn't die here. Your teammates came to save you. That's awesome. Good job, team. That's great, and they got the kill. That thief came in clutch. Was that a thief? Yeah, that was. Thief came in clutch. Good for him. Alright, so courageously jumping in, trying to take the 1v2. I like it. I take these situations every time. When there's one of them low and the other one low. So I like the boldness here. Ah, the conditions, man. Yeah, that Reaper. The good news is, playing Willbender, eventually you actually do pretty darn well into Necros. You'll have to learn some different animations, especially from the Reapers. Because what you really want to watch out for them, they have a skill that's going to freeze you. And once they freeze you, you're stuck. And if you don't have a stun break, you can't get out of it. So let's see if this is a death here. Teammate tries to save you. He goes down. It's a whole fight breaking out at mid. I'm curious where you're going to rotate here. Are you going to go back to mid or are you going to go far? Okay, good. Far doesn't need help. That's perfect. Get right back into the fight. Your team's not dead yet. They're getting low. The only time like that you wouldn't go into this fight is if you look at it and it's just completely lost. And that one was close, but I think with a well-executed combo, like we were talking about earlier, if you had used your Spear 5 into a port, into Spear 3, Spear 2, and 2 is a movement skill, it'll move you and deal damage, you probably could have dropped the whole enemy team right there. And they would have been like, what the heck? Willbender OP, nerf Willbender. Okay, so your team's just chilling at home, not doing a whole lot. It's great. I like what you're doing here though now, because this is, yeah, this is honestly, Echo, this is good awareness. This is something I've had to learn, man. You know, I always get on that, I gotta kill, I gotta kill, I gotta kill, I gotta kill. And I love that you kind of come back like, hey team, like let's go, but you're not running in like, ah, screw it, I'll kill him myself, you know. You've kind of stayed back, you see him getting away from his team, so you're like, okay, let's open on him. That's good awareness. That's going to serve you really well if you can keep that. Not many players have that type of awareness. Usually they're either fight or flight, and that's it. They're either just a total coward, scared to engage at all, or they're just like bloodthirsty and they just don't stop pushing way too deep and getting killed. I am the latter. I will constantly over push and get too far on the enemy side and just get myself killed. I've really had to focus on that. This season not as much, but the season before. It's just way too ready to... Too much blood in my eyes. So that was good. I mean, that's decent. Like I said, just work on your damage combos. In Sword, it's kind of like situational, but 2 is a good opening to get into the fight. Maybe see if they dodge, kind of see how they react to it. Sword 3 is a lot of damage, but it's more like a range, so the main ones are 4 and 5. 5's a good setup for your other ones, so you can do like 5-4. A lot of times I'll do 5-4-3 on swords. Open with 2, see what they do, and then go 5-4-3 from there. Throw in an F1 every now and then. And then spear is basically 5, then 3, then 2. Or if you don't have 5 available, just 3 and then 2. And if there's AoE, like a bunch of enemies in one spot, then use 4 on them. That's crazy. Y'all just triple capped them. Right here, you said, I'm not going to mid. We all need to win that fight. That's great. Echo, hopefully that helps you, man. I would say that the 3 things that you need to work on, and for those watching, the 3 things I would say that Echo needs to work on. 1 is the damage combos. 2 is going to be, I'm going to do this one with an asterisk. Get rid of your last clicking if you can. Try not to click anything. It gives you so much freedom once you practice all the buttons and you get them down to not have to click. And then the other thing that I noticed that I didn't mention as the match was going on, I want you to get a little bit faster at cleansing your conditions. So your big condition cleanse is here, and it's also a stun break. The minute that you see a massive Condi Bomb go on you, and you'll learn in time which ones to avoid. Sometimes classes like Condi Reaper or like Engineer, I've actually been practicing, we'll have like a fake Condi Bomb because we want people to cleanse, and then we dump the real Condi Bomb on them. So you'll learn in time about that. Right now, for the purposes of just starting out and learning the game, I would say the minute you see a bunch of conditions land on you, just cleanse. Just practice doing that. And it'll punish you sometimes. Most of the time it won't, because in this rating, everyone's just like trying to do damage. They're learning, how do I do damage? How do I put the conditions on them? Or maybe if they're playing support, they're learning, how do I cure conditions and heal my team? But most people are just like, how do I kill? How do I get the crazy Omega Burst on the enemy? So yeah, I would say focus on those 3 things. Practice your damage combos. Try and use them more effectively. And then, yeah, once you see the conditions drop on you down here, just cleanse them right away. So you'll cleanse 1 at a time while this is on passive, like every 10 seconds, I think it is. But it's really not worth it, I would just say, when you see the Condi Bomb cleanse. So yeah, there we go. You'll be top 100 in no time. Guys, if anyone else wants to submit their match, feel free. Discord link is in the comment below. The instructions are in the Discord, so feel free to submit your match and have it be reviewed, and it might make it on YouTube. So we'll see you guys on the next video.